Welcome to another episode of the Chris Hatcher Show, presented by Coca-Cola. I'm your host, Kevin Blackwell, and of course I'm joined again by Samford head football coach Chris Hatcher. This past Saturday, the Bulldogs traveled to Cookeville, Tennessee to take on the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles, and unfortunately dropped a decision in double overtime, 59-58. Coach, all losses are tough, but I know this one's going to sting for a while.
There's no question about it, Kevin. We did not play our best ball down the stretch. We didn't make plays when we needed to make them in a game. That I felt like that we should have won. And talking to the team the day after the ball game, to me there's a difference in getting beat and losing the game. And when you get beat, you play to the best of your ability. Other teams just a whole lot better than you. And when you lose a game, you don't execute well, maybe you don't play with as much effort as you need to, you don't make the plays when you need to, and taking no credit away from Tennessee Tech because they executed extremely well in the fourth quarter and overtime. I felt like we gave that game away, and that was one that, that we'll look back on and think, man, we should have won that ball game.
Yeah, well, as you look at the game, we're down 12-0 early. But the defense really began, I think, kind of tighten the screws a little bit on them in the second quarter. If you look at how the game went, I mean, we didn't give up any points in the second quarter and really half of the third quarter. So, we want to point our fingers sometimes at the defense, but they played well in the first half, lost some intensity in the second half, particularly in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think you're correct in saying that. I mean, it's a team game, and I've been in games where the offense didn't play particularly well, and the defense had to win the game. And the other night, the offense played extremely well, other than the first two series of the game, and then in the fourth quarter and overtime, the defense didn't play very well. And we got good kids, we got good players. We just got out executed there in the fourth quarter. But yeah, we did. We got down early. I don't think we came out with as much juice as we needed to, and that's on me as the coach. But we settled in. We put Chris in, and we were able to hit a couple big plays and had some big drives. Defense started playing well, as you mentioned. And we go in at halftime up 24-12, and you never feel good, but we were feeling better than we were when we were down 12-0.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about Chris Solidokin. 19 for 24, 428 yards, 6 passing touchdowns, 7 rushes, 42 yards. Added another touchdown with his feet. Coach, he ties the school record for touchdown passes and touchdowns responsible for. He puts him with some pretty good names here, Jimbo Fisher and Devlin Hodges, so he's in some rare air with those numbers.
Well, I've been really pleased with his play thus far. As anybody watches the game, the first game he came in and led us on 2 scoring drives late in the ball game, and and we felt like that. That Liam, we needed to give him another shot in there. And then, Liam's a really good player, and I think he's just had some bad luck. But Chris has just been playing at another level. He makes the game look slow out there. This game the other day, we were able to run the ball a little bit better than we have in the past. And they just were very susceptible to the deep ball. So, we didn't run very many plays. We ran 58 plays, scored 58 points. But he executed at a very high level. I think he only had 1 bad throw or 2 bad throws the entire day, 1 on the screen and 1 on a deep ball. And other than that, he made plays with his arm, he made plays with his feet, he extended plays very well, and I think that's the big key to him. He does a great job of making things happen when the pocket breaks down.
For sure, and he had some good guys to throw to as well. I want to mention that Chris Schilling had a great game, 7 catches, 185 yards. Kendall Watson, great game for Kendall, 4 catches for 87 yards and a touchdown. Those 2 guys had great games.
They did, and I thought that offensively, for the most part, that all of them played at a very high level. Again, by having DeMarcus Ware back there running the ball, I think he carried it 18 times in the ball game. People having to start to honor him now, which allows those receivers to get behind the defense. And thought our staff, put together a good plan. And Coach Callaway had dialed up a few shots there that worked. And offensively, like I said, other than the first 2 drives, the offense was able to score every time they got the ball. So led by Chris, and of course you got to give credit to that offensive line. They played extremely well throughout the course of the ball game.
Coach, we know we've got a young team this year. We've got some guys who are really seeing their first action in college football. When you look at a game like this, where's the teachable moment here for these young players?
Well, all the way across the board, we have a lot to work on. And, unfortunately, our tackling's a little suspect. And the problem with that is we got to do a better job of maintaining our gaps on the defensive line and get better fundamentally. And the same thing offensively. I think we got a better idea of what we're good at, but there's a lot of fundamental errors that we need to clean up. And, at the end of the day, there were plays out there to be made, and we didn't make them in the critical times in the fourth quarter and overtime. And if we just make one more play, we win the ball game. So, we got to do that. We can't get down. I still think we have a good team. Yeah, are we a young team, inexperienced at certain spots? We sure are. We knew that going into the season. But the positive is we're 0-0 in Southern Conference play. And all our goals are still intact except for having an undefeated season.
Well, the off week comes at a good time. We're 0-2, but those are 2 losses, as you said, out of conference. Conference is still in front of us. Our goals are still ahead of us.
Well, I'm just being positive, okay? And, let me say this. We're going into a bye week. There's really never an off week, which we modify our schedule a little bit. We work the guys out 3 days and then give them some time off. And, I really think no matter what had happened, this bye week comes at a good time for us. We had to start practice a little bit earlier because of the week 0 game. We played 2 games. Everybody else has only played 1. So this kind of comes at a good time. We kind of figure out, now we know who we are. And it's big that this week we really get better fundamentally as opposed to scheme-wise because we get in conference play, and of course we know Wofford's always the team to beat in the Southern Conference.
For sure, and certainly we've got to, you're talking about minding those gaps in the line for the defensive line linebackers. Wofford's going to run the ball, and they're going to run the ball a lot.
Well, they are, and of course, last year they were the conference champs and played. They played a high level. One thing they're just a very physical team. Offensively, they show you a bunch of looks, a bunch of schemes in the run game that nobody else does. So having an off week to prepare for them is big. But they have having a bye week to prepare for them is big. They have a bye week as well. Hopefully theirs is an off week and they'll just take the week off. But they're well coached, one of the best defenses in the league each and every year. And and they got tremendous tradition over there. So, we'll have our hands full. But again, I think it goes back to each and every week we talk about, I can't coach Wofford, I coach our team, and it's my job to get our team playing at a little bit higher level than we have these past 2 weeks.
Yeah. So we do have a bye week this week, and then we open up conference play on September the 14th at Wofford. That game will be scheduled for 5 o'clock Central Time in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Coach, good luck on that game, and we're looking forward to a big Bulldog win on the road.
I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
That'll do it for this episode of The Chris Hatcher Show, presented by Coca-Cola.